What's up, YouTube? Okay, I've got a problem, and it's a problem that definitely other people are going to have, so I'm going to let you know about this problem before it gets you. If you own one of these Xarilk, or however you pronounce it, Xarilk, Generation 2 sharpeners, the fixed systems, this bolt, the clamp bolt, is too short. And what's happening is you're applying your clamping force on literally like 1.5 threads. And I don't over tighten by any means, because I know this is aluminum, this is steel, you know, those things usually don't. You can run stuff quick with that type of scenario. So I use a short Allen wrench. That way I'm not putting a lot of torque on it. You know, I'm not using a 6-inch or a 5-inch long Allen wrench. I'm using a little short Allen wrench. I tighten till it, you know, I feel it bite, and that's that. This is not very high grade aluminum. You know, it's just probably cheap cast aluminum. I guess it could be milled, but regardless, this is not no, you know, 70-75 aluminum. So you have this steel screw or steel bolt that is literally only engaging, even with and that's with thin blade knives like this. This is actually the knife that it just snapped those threads off on. And believe it or not, it did it when I went to back the thread off, when I went to back it off to take the knife out. So it's not like I've got the jaws spread, you know, to the max, and I'm only engaging just the very top of a thread. With this thickness of knife in it, I've measured it out, you're grabbing about a little less than two full threads. And guess what? There, those almost 2 threads are. So now this jaw is done for, because instead of it, if the screw was longer, it would have been engaging all basically 4 threads that are there. Now I've lost, even if I go to a longer bolt, I've lost 2 of those threads. So it's just a matter of time this is going to happen to the next 2, and then the clamp will have to be, like, you know, retapped and go to a bigger bolt. I'm not doing all that for a, you know, an $80 sharpener. Surprisingly, I actually do like this sharpener. I have high-end sharpeners, or fixed angled. I have a TS Prof KO3. I have a Hapstone R2 Black. But I also have the Gen 3 of this. I have this, but I like this one. I don't know why, but I do. I don't like this. This stone thing is not very good, but I like this sharpener. So I'm actually quite disappointed that this happened. And now I know, you know, if it was engaging all 4 threads, it'd be much stronger. This wouldn't happen. But being just only engaging basically 2 threads at the peak of its low, you know, when it's at full clamp, or however tight you tighten it, when it's at that maximum pressure of where you're tightening that, you're only grabbing, you know, with a thin blade knife, you're grabbing basically 2 threads. If it's a thicker blade knife, you might only be grabbing 1 thread, and then you're going to do it, it's going to have to do you quickly. This is like, you know, a little over 2 millimeter blade stock. So say you're doing a 3.5 millimeter thickness blade, you're going to be at, like, yeah, literally like 1 or maybe even less. This is going to happen to a lot of people. And again, now I go to a longer bolt. Well, I only have, you know, basically 4 threads. 2 of them are gone. So it's just a matter of time before it would happen again. Literally the only fix to get it in, you know, to get it to where it's not going to fail. Longer bolt, go up, you know, 1/2 millimeter. This is probably a 4 millimeter bolt, maybe a 5 millimeter bolt. I have to measure it. I'm going to say 5 millimeters. Anyway, so go to a 5.5 millimeter bolt and you know, tap it. But like I said, I'm not going to do that. It's a $80, $100 sharpener. It's not worth investing the time, and I don't even think I have my tap set here anyway. So this is disappointing. This unit should have a lot of life left in it. This thing has not been used that much. I would say I've maybe sharpened, I'm going to say 15, used it maybe 15, maybe 20 times, probably 15. Yeah, 15 I'm going to say is about right. Pretty much every time I've used it's been on camera. I may have used it, you know, 2 or 3 times not on camera, and so yeah, it's not much. And like I said, you know, I'm not torquing the hell out of those jaws. It's pointless. A lot of people do that, and it's literally a waste of time. Clamp the jaws until it's got the knife. Apply a little bit of load on the knife this way, you know, to make sure that it's not moving in the jaws, and you're good to go. If it's moving, add a little bit of time, you know, make another 1/8 or 1/4 of a turn, and there you go. But you don't need to lock these jaws down. Number one, it'll especially on coated blades, you know, it'll put that, you'll see it in the blade coating. So, you know, I don't use very much torque, and if you do, you're gonna break this loose very, very quickly. Hell, 15 knives is quickly not doing it. So, you know, you could theoretically do this in a couple times. Basically, this is failed from fatigue. That's why it just didn't strip out. If it was just over tightening, you just strip it out. This is the actual thread letting go. The thread literally breaking because, you know, you got a harder steel here, you have a soft aluminum here, and you know this aluminum, it basically moves as you apply torque. The threads on this steel bolt are solid, so basically you're stretching those threads. You're putting, how do I explain it? Think of the threads being kind of like a rubber band. So you're basically doing this to them as you tighten down. You're basically, you know, you're literally stretching them, and then as you loosen it, you're loosening the tension, and you stretch it again. And because it's, you know, not a, if this was like 70, 75, this wouldn't have happened. But being this is some, God only knows what alloy, basically you're in a situation to where it's just a matter of time. You're stretching those threads, and then you relax, stretch them, relax, stretch them, relax. Just like bending a piece of, you know, you take a piece of aluminum, like, and bend it back and forth, and what's going to happen? Each one of those bends, each one of those cycles, it's getting weaker. That's exactly this. That's a better way to explain it, actually. Those threads are flexing, and they reach a point of failure, and then snap, which is exactly what happened here. And it didn't happen as I was tightening. It happened as I was taking the knife out. So as soon as it moved at all, it snapped. Now, with all 4 threads engaged, it probably would still happen, but over a lot longer period of time, because each thread will be being stretched and relaxed less. Anyways, if you have this sharpener, trust me, I'll measure this bolt out, and I'll put it in the comment section what size threads you need, and thread pitch and size. I'm assuming it's a 5 millimeter. It's probably the standard 5 millimeter bolt, but get a longer bolt. That's something that's about like 3, maybe 3 more millimeters. I'll measure it out. I'll tell you what to get. That way you got full engagement. When you've got this tightened, when you've got your knife in the clamp, you want to see, you know, the head of the screw protruding from here ever so slightly, so you know each thread in here has been engaged. That's going to give you the most life out of these jaws. If you don't, that's what you're going to see. It's just a matter of time. All right, guys.